Welcome to another episode of Writer Geek Show. We are your hosts Shankar and Vishnu. And today we are going to talk about, this is going to be an unscripted episode. As you can see, we are trying something different here with video recording and all that kind of stuff. We thought we'll experiment a little bit. This is not going to be perfect, but we'll see how it goes.
It's already awkward and I'm not much of a fan of video, but we have to do it because of the sake of it and we're going to do it. Let's see how it goes.
So I was thinking of something, some topic which is kind of dark, but I think which needs a conversation on its own. Especially over the past 6 months when we have been seeing a lot of things happening around the world, this particular thing has more relevance, and I thought we'll touch upon that.
Okay, so what is it?
I just wanted to have a conversation and see what we think about death. Yeah, so I don't really know how to get started with this, except that maybe openly discuss about what I think about death and how my ideas about death have changed over my lifetime. So I started thinking about it seriously when there were some experiences, not near-death experience or anything like that, experiences with respect to very close people passing away and all those kind of things. That is when I really started thinking that, this is something that can happen to anyone. Because as you grow up, you hear people dying, and mostly they're old people and all that. So you don't really think about that this could happen one day to you. But I have lost some really close friends over my lifetime, and there have been instances where I've had really tough time coming to terms with the fact that, someone can exist today and they can not be around tomorrow.
Yeah, seriously, similar kind of experiences have happened to me, but I think you've had more of such experiences compared to me. For me, it has been during our childhood, all I used to feel like is that, death is something which happens to old people. And you have this feeling when you're young that you're never going to get old, right?
Yeah.
So all you want to do is get old, but you will feel like, okay, you're going to stay young forever and it's not going to affect you. Death is not going to be something that is part of your life. But anything that has a beginning, right? It has an end. And anything that comes alive has to die at one point of time.
So, that's at least what Matrix told us.
Yeah. So as you grow old, you experience certain things, the people close to you dying and...
Sorry about that.
Like people close to you, passing away, and it's like hitting your face with a brick suddenly and feeling like, okay, this can happen to you too. And especially over the past 6 months with the pandemic, it's really shown that how fragile life is, and one day you'll be here, but the next day you won't be. So yeah, that is the kind of realization that I've had. And I've been thinking a lot about death, how when it'll come to me and all those kind of stuff. It's really dark. At times you'd be like, okay, the more you think about death, the more you, confront your purpose in life. So yeah, there is a correlation between, what you do and how you die, I feel. I don't know.
I have, as far as I remember, I was never really very emotional about death. As in, when someone else dies, I never really, felt like crying and stuff like that. Maybe because I am like that. But I have seen that it deeply affects me in different ways. In the sense that I start thinking, what have I really done in life? If I die today, what does it mean, right? And I used to have this feeling like if I die today, I'm going to miss out a lot of things in life. And there are people who might be missing me and all that kind of stuff. But over past few years, I've kind of come in terms with this. Let me start by telling why really these kind of things happened with me, right? So as you know, my very close friend died when I was in college, but he was my close friend from school. That was the first incident that really shook me. Someone's death that really had a profound effect on me. We have seen, other deaths in family and all that, but I've never felt so touched by something. This happened when I was on vacation, or I was for a weekend or something. I'd come home and I got to know early in the morning that, he met with an accident and he passed away. And I went to hospital to see his body and all that. And all that went like a flash. I don't really remember what I did there. But after coming back home, I couldn't come into grips with the fact that he's not there anymore. And I started, it really affected me mentally, even after going to college, to think that, okay, this was a guy I used to spend time, we used to sit in the same bench in the class. And one fine day, he's not around and you cannot see him forever in your life, right? That thought was really disturbing for me. And what was more disturbing for me was that you always think of yourself as some invincible being, right? You always think that, hey, okay, people die, but I'm not going to die, right? I mean, at least not this young. Or someone had an accident, it's not going to happen to me. Or somewhere, you have seen places, in around the world having very difficult political issues and stuff like that, where living normal life is difficult. In your mind, it's always like, it's not here, it's somewhere else, right? It's always somewhere else. All the things that you see in news, someone being killed, kidnapped and robbery and all that, it's always someone else, until it hits home somewhere near. That this was one such experience for me. So I always used to think that I have a long life. That is one of the reasons that this is the thing, right? For me, it's not I'm not scared of dying or something, but what scares me is that 5 years down the line, if I know that I'm going to die, right? What are the things that I would think are the things I could have done and I have not done, right? When you look back at your life, see, it might or might not make sense because you don't know how you're going to die. You might die in an instant where you don't have time to think about all this. But right now at this moment, it feels really odd to think that, okay, if I'm gone, and that if I'm gone, feelings started coming after this experience. I'm like, I'm going to sleep tonight. Will I wake up in the morning? That again, the same thing happened to me again after like 5-6 years. After we moved to Bangalore, one of our close friends, he died. He was pretty young. He was 24 or something that time. And I sincerely couldn't sleep for like 6 months. In the sense, when I go to sleep, when I slip into sleep, I'm like, will I wake up or will I just slip into this thing? And at that, genuinely, I had that feeling for 6 months. And that was one of the most difficult times mentally. When you think about death, that was one of the darkest time in my mind. I in fact had a fear that, okay, this can happen to me anytime as well.
The truth is, it can happen to anyone. So yeah, one of the things that humans do is that even though death is inevitable, we live as if we plan things out for the future as if we're going to live forever. That's one of the craziest, funniest, and even the scariest thing that you can ever come across. And for me, like, I've not had this personal experiences, but I've had like classmates and friends who have died. Like 3 or 4 months back, I had this classmate. So this guy was like around 30 years old. Like he got married like 2 years back, and then one morning he went for a walk, then came back, and he went to take a shower. He never came out alive. This guy used to be a dancer and he used to be like really fit, and this happened to him. And we still haven't got out of it. Like whenever I talk to some of my friends from that school, we always talk about, this guy, how could this happen to him, right? So no matter what you plan, right, you never know you'd exist to, make those plans come into realization. So basically, I think what we should be striving to do is like to make every moment count and, do things that keeps you happy and the people around you happy, because you never know if you'd be alive tomorrow or not. And yeah, this is one of my experiences. And I had another experience where one of my friends fell from the terrace, like 4th floor of something. He was in coma for a week or something. Then he died. So yeah, you never know what's going to happen.
Well, this is how I started thinking, right? Every single day that you live, and at night when you go to bed, if you're still alive, I think you should consider yourself lucky.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
There are millions of ways that you can die. Your body can give away. The roof can fall on your head. You walk on the road, someone can come and hit you with their car. Can be anything, or someone comes and kills you, or whatever, for whatever reason, right? So this thought started coming into my mind at that time. Like, if you wake up in the morning, you're lucky again because you didn't die during your sleep, and you're going to bed at night, you're lucky again. So every single new day, see, it's really easy to get bogged down with things that you don't have and things that are bothering you and 10,000 other problems that you have in life. But what really matters is if you're alive to take care of those things, that is the best thing.
Yeah.
The worst thing is to die, right? After that, there is nothing, right? And I had this issue within myself. I don't know whether I should call it a fear of dying, because I was not really scared of dying part. What I was scared of was this thing, right? What if I die, and if it doesn't matter, what do I do?
Yeah.
Right? So here is a funny thing. One thing that got me out of this crazy feeling about death is a video by a channel called Kirkzagat. I'm sure that many people
in
know.
a nutshell. Yeah.
So they had put a video called The Optimistic Nihilism, where they talk about this existential crisis and what is death and all that kind of stuff. It's not about what death actually is. It's about how your perception towards death should be. So what they say is, we always keep thinking, right? Oh, what happens after death? Because that is what scares us. We don't know what is on the other side. So an easy way of looking at death is this. You were born when universe is about 13.5 billion years, right?
Yeah.
You remember whatever happened after your birth, most of the things. Do you remember those 13.7 billion years? How did you spend them? No idea, right? It went in a flash. All you remember is, I just opened my eyes and I'm here on the earth. So look at it this way. After you die, there are these trillions and trillions of years that will come. Those trillions and trillions of years will pass in a second.
Yeah, that's
the same way that 13 billion years. And that one thought, when I heard, I was like, that is liberating, right? There is nothing to worry about. If you die, that's all. Then you don't have to worry about anything else.
Yeah, it's like you are here just for a second and it doesn't matter. Like, there is this another video, I don't remember which channel it's from. I don't know how like a simple video can impact us so much. Like this video is like, explaining life in 123 seconds or something. In 2 minutes, they explain life, how, single cell organisms are there. Then there are like humans, other mammals, animals and stuff. Then there is the earth, the solar system, the galaxies, clusters and all that. And it just, zooms out to show like how insignificant you are.
This video which I'm talking about, that also has that part.
Yeah. I've seen it.
Yeah, where it gives you a perspective where you are living in the Earth. Earth is part of the solar system, which is just one speck in Milky Way, and Milky Way is one part of local group of galaxies. That local group is a part of one bigger group called Virgo cluster. That is again a bigger. I mean, when you go at that level, right, our life seems to be...
Yeah, it just goes on and on. Like, so that video actually made me think, the daily problems, the issues that we face every day. Oh my God, the water overflew in the tank. Or
your boss is angry on you.
Yeah, you have an escalation at work. So if you take it into consideration in the sense like you zoom out everything, right, and look at it, it just doesn't matter.
It's similar. Think of it this way, right? If there is an anthill in front of your house, do you really worry about, what are their daily activities? Are those ants really worried about the weather and all that? For you, it is insignificant. If there comes a necessity, you will easily go and destroy it and not thinking about what they are doing. So at that level, we are not even close to an ant, right? Nobody cares.
Yeah. So that's what, keeping this in mind, there is kind of no purpose in life.
Yes.
So my idea is to like, do things which are good, which makes me feel good, and, surround with, myself with people who are like, bringing happiness. That's all. Like there is actually no purpose in life. So you make some purpose in life.
No, I know why people really worry about death. Again, the way we are told that there's an afterlife, right? So your good deeds in this life is going to decide how your next life should be. For me, it doesn't make any sense. First of all, I don't believe in that. Second thing is, even if I have an afterlife, let's consider that we had a life before this. how is that ever influencing this life? Do you remember anything you have done, or do you know the people whom you were interacting with, or whom you have wronged or done something good for them? No, right? So if that is completely cut off, any subsequent life is again a new life for me. So I don't really care about, that being influenced by this. All, as you said, all I think about is, yes, on a macro level, there is no purpose at all. You will live, you will die. You work for a company for like 12 hours a day, thinking that you'll get the next promotion. You might get the promotion. You might live for like next 35 years working for that company. Company will do good or it will not. At the end of the day, everything has an end. So what does it even matter, right? So yeah, you shrink it down, then you start thinking, okay, is it even making sense? That is the problem, right? So especially in past 6 months, we got a lot of time, like a lot of time to think. We are not doing so many things that we were supposed to do and all that. So for me, it was like, man, am I really behind in life? What have I achieved and all that? Is this where I wanted to be when I was like 15 or maybe 20 or something? But then I realized, like, what is the end of all this, right? I can keep piling expectations on myself, saying that I should have been there and been. If I am there, then what? I will find something else, right? So that those wishes and those dreams will never go off. Whether you become, let's say someone wants to start a business and become a billionaire, he becomes a billionaire, then what? You will have next thing to work on. So I'm not piling up things on myself. I'm like, you know what? Life will end anyway.
Yeah.
Only thing you can do is do things that, as you said, really makes you and other people happy, so that this small time makes little sense and it is easy to go through this.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
After you die, people will cry for you maybe for 1 week or something.
Maybe.
After 2 years, nobody's going to remember you also.
Yeah.
Right? Even if you're a famous person, let's say someone like Julius Caesar. He was a great emperor and all that, but what do you really care about him now? When you talk to people about his ideologies and history and all that kind of, it makes sense. But then what?
Are we sad about him dying? No. It was a long time back and there was nothing we could do.
And you can make it to your advantage also, these thoughts about death. One of the things that I've been reading a little bit about is about stoicism, right? So there is a principle called memento mori, which is like, remember, like life is going to end at some point of time, and use that to your advantage to motivate yourself, right?
Yeah.
If you know that you are going to die in a month, would you really care about that small escalation at work?
Yeah. Seriously. Yeah. So over the past 6 months, the perspective has really changed. Like before that, we were kind of in a life in the fast lane kind of thing, where it was all just routine. You get up in the morning, go to work, come back, be tired, sleep off. But now it's like, okay, what are you doing for yourself? You do a lot of things for your company, but you should be doing something for yourself, right? So that's the change that has happened. And also, like, there is this realization that a lot of people run behind money, right? We all do, because money gets you things that keeps you happy for, a certain amount of time. So I don't remember which person it was. Maybe it was an actor or someone. What he said was like, money actually does not... like happiness does not depend on money. Like I have $50 million right now, but I was as happy as this when I had $48 million. Mm-hmm. So yeah, once you reach the peak, right, where you have enough money to survive, I think money just doesn't count. Yeah. And one more thing that I wanted to add is that...
Yeah, before you go to that, I have one thing to add. Although money is not deciding, how happy you should be, I think money is important.
Yeah, that's what I said. If you reach that peak where you can sustain yourself.
That was Jim Carrey who said that, maybe.
Yeah, I think Jim Carrey is the one. Yes. He is very wise.
He said,
even though he has done a lot of stupid things.
He said, if you feel that money makes you happy, I wish that everybody becomes a millionaire or something, so that you'll know that is not the thing that you're looking for. Yeah. Like that. Yeah. Right now, this is how I look at things in life. You want to die anyway. This is just small time that you're spending before your birth and your death. Don't take life really seriously, right? Don't try to do things to impress people just because you'll get like the moment, a small moment of happiness and all that. Do things for yourself. First of all, see, it is not selfish to take care of yourself, right? So if you feel like you don't want to do something, be open about it, because you have just one chance in life. And if you keep doing things for the sake of doing it, sooner or later you're gonna regret everything, especially when you're maybe in your late times.
I'm already starting to regret certain things, but yeah.
I think in the 34 years that I've been alive, there are times that I think that I should go. If I could go back, I would do these things. But then what makes life interesting right now is because you have all those memories and things that you've learned because of that. If life was not like that, you wouldn't have learned many things.
Yeah, the uncertainty it works to our favor, I feel.
I think that even if you have a great life from now on, let's say from 34 onwards till 50 or 60, I'm having a proper life as I planned. I'm sure if I look back, I would really think that, what, I could have done some things better.
Yeah. But anyway, nothing goes to plan, right? You make a lot of plans every day, but it doesn't work out that way. So yeah.
If you die, everything is gone anyway.
I think the uncertainty is what keeps everything going, and it's all good. So is that about death, or do we have anything more about death?
There is nothing to talk about scientifically. Probably that will be a normal episode of Writer and Geek, where we talk about some near-death experiences and stuff like that. Maybe we can do an episode. But this was anyway just rambling about what our thoughts and all are about these kind of things.
Anyway, so the pandemic is still raging, so I think our aim should be just to survive and get through it, and not to be extremely productive and stuff. If you're being productive, that's an advantage, but the aim should be to just survive.
All the best.